whenever you're ready.
All right. Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode of My Speaking Podcast. As you can see, we got our guy back again, Super Bowl champ, 16-year NFL Super Bowl champ, Mr. Eugene Robinson. What's going on, man? How you doing? Welcome back again, man.
I'm feeling good. You playing Jamaica Funk.
Yeah, okay, so we know that. We know that.
Yeah,
so we're not even gonna hold you. We're gonna jump right into it. The reason I reached out to you and talked to you, I wanted to get into the AFC NFC Championship weekend. I want your expertise. I want you to break down the AFC game, which is Kansas City and Baltimore, and I want you to break down the NFC game, it's San Fran and Detroit. But I want you at the end. I want you to give me your prediction of who's gonna win, not the score, but who will win, and who's gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Okay, cool.
So what you think about the AFC so far?
Let me attack it like I would attack most things if I'm about to play a game. Whenever you're about to play a game defensively, we look at a number of stats that are really important. We want to see what your third down percentage is. What do you look like on third down? Third down is 7+, third down is 6. Well, third down is 46, third down is 3-. We want to see when are you converting on those downs, because that tells a lot. That means you're able to stay on the field. When I look at the Baltimore Ravens are at roughly about 42%. So 4 out of 10 times they're completing where they're moving the chains. Defensively, they're doing a good job because they're at 36%. So that means the defense is doing a good job of keeping you off the field. So that's a really big stat. And then we look at how prolific the offense is. If I'm looking at the Baltimore Ravens, it starts up front with no doubt with Lamar Jackson.
Definitely.
Lamar Jackson, I think he's going to win the Most Valuable Player award. I think it's between he and McCaffrey. But Lamar Jackson is a game changer.
So how would you? Okay, you on defense.
You better spy him, dude.
You gotta have somebody.
That's the only way you can look.
You better look. Here it is. Here's the problem that he presents. So he's an exceptional runner. He got like 800 some odd yards. Right? He's an exceptional runner the ball, like Cam Newton, like Michael Vick. He's exceptional doing that. All right. But the one thing that he doesn't get credit for is that when he's scrambling, that he's looking downfield.
Yeah.
He looks downfield before he's about to throw the rock. And so he's looking to, before he's about to run the rock, he's looking to see who can I dump this ball off to. That's a dangerous combination. Now you can't put a linebacker on him to go ahead and spy him because he's gonna outrun your linebacker. You gotta have a defensive back, someone who's gonna be able to match that speed and that quickness and make those moves. And so you're gonna have that. Or if you blitz him, here's the thing I would tell you to do. If you happen to blitz him, do not leave your feet. If you're coming in there and you have a clean shot on Lamar Jackson, just keep your hands up, slow down your pace, and make him make a move.
If you blitz him, would you blitz outside or up the middle? So
I'm blitzing both. I'm blitzing upside up. I'm going off the edge, and I'm going to a guy that's in the gap that's going to at least draw the attention of and make them do a doom call when everybody kind of blocks down and inside.
Gotcha. Do you give Kansas City any kind of chance to win this?
Oh, Kansas City has a great chance to win this. There's no doubt. But typically, whenever you go in somebody else's stadium, they're like a 3-point favorite. You know, so I think that Baltimore Ravens are a 3-point favorite. Here's the thing about Baltimore: they're gonna have to stop. They gotta stop. I know we're gonna say Patrick Mahomes. I know you're gonna say Kelsey, but I think it's Pacheco.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this little running back, man, he came from nowhere. He can run between the tackles, outside the tackles. The only thing I'm scared about with Kansas City is their receivers, because the elements ain't gonna affect Kansas City at all because it don't matter. They playing the work.
They've been having to
but my thing is, since Tyreek Hill been gone, they don't have that number one dog out there you can go to and throw the ball and it scare you. So I'm kind of looking at it from the point where they might double Kelsey and make their receiver beat them one-on-one.
Kelsey has 984 yards, right?
Yep.
He has only 5 touchdowns, so that he's going to get in 93 catches. He's going to get double teamed.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
And that's what I'm saying. That's
the next
my
person
thing.
is Rice. Rice has 79 with 938 yards, 7 touchdowns. All right. He's going to be that other go-to guy. Other than that, it drops off precipitously.
That's what I'm saying.
Because there's like 27 catches to the next guy at Watson. So when you're talking about that, who do you stop? Third down, you got to stop Kelsey. You got. I'm going to double team this cat.
And that's what I was saying.
Make you find somebody else.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing is, I'm blitzing. The Baltimore Ravens have 60 sacks, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Queen and that other Roquan Smith, they linebackers.
Yeah.
They got 60 sacks.
But you know what? What's so crazy? Mike McDonald, their defense coordinator, he pretty much, when Baltimore, when Ray Lewis and Ed and all them left, they ain't fall off much. They fell off a little bit. Harbaugh went out there and tinkered, got a younger coach. They got guys, they even got Clowney playing ball. And Clowney, to me, I thought was like, Clowney play when he want to play or he don't have to play. He went to an organization, into an environment, into a locker room and say, listen, you got to play up to your potential because if you don't, we're going to. But my thing is, this is why I think Baltimore, in my opinion, I think they will win the game. I'm not going to say it's going to be a blowout, but I will say it's going to be a close game. But I think Baltimore, being at home, having the home field, the first game I think at home, AFC in 51 years I think they have. So I really believe Baltimore will probably prevail.
Just like Mr. Roberts said, if they can keep, as long as they can keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, I think
that's what you want to be able to do. So their defense, it's going to be incumbent upon their defense to go ahead and really play sound ball. Them 60 sacks that you got in the regular season, it has some material. If you put Patrick Mahomes on the ground 4 times, that's huge.
Yeah.
That is absolutely huge. If you're double teaming Kelsey, you taking care of Rice. Here's the other thing is when Patrick Mahomes scrambles, he's comfortable in the pocket, out of pocket. When he scrambles, we got this thing called plaster. Every defensive back, you know, hey, lock onto your guy and you stay on him. Don't worry about him running. Somebody else got the linebackers, you got to worry about him running. But I'm not coming off coverage at all. You come off coverage, it's going to be somebody leaking behind you, and it's going to be a touchdown. You can't give Kansas City Chiefs these explosive plays that get behind the defensive back. If you can keep everything in front of you and no explosive plays, so
you think Baltimore going to play a 2D zone?
They're going to play the best thing to play typically
like
is cover 4. It's cover
everything
4
in front of you.
Everything is in front of you.
Yeah.
Or you can play a hybrid of cover 4, cover 2, which is you can play cover 2, but we call it cover read coverage, which is if the outside receivers happen to go up the field, get an outside release, happen to go up the field, then it turns into cover 4.
Yeah, exactly.
So automatically it'll be cover 4 on the run or cover 2. If they do something short, immediately it becomes cover 2, and now you got a guy over top. You know, but here's the thing: way to beat cover 2 is, and this is where Kelsey's going to come in. You bring a tight end straight down the middle of the field. But if you do that, I got to have the linebackers. One linebackers, particularly the middle linebacker, is to run like Derek Brooks in Tampa 2. It's called a Tampa 2 for a reason. They take the middle linebacker and they run it with the tight end down the field. Now that's a hard throw to catch.
Luke Kuechly was one of the best in that.
Derek Brooks has done that. There's a number of guys. Ray Lewis. Everybody's done cover 2, Tampa 2, which is you have that running back running through them, linebacker running back down there through with that tight end or that third receiver, because it's a cheap, easy play to get when you go get cover 2, a 2 deep zone. You always attack down the middle and on the and out on the we call it the corner routes.
So with that being said, who you see winning the AFC game?
So I have to go with Baltimore Ravens only because they're playing in Baltimore. If they were playing in Kansas City, I would say I don't know Kansas City. So
he got this
really is a 3-point advantage of where you play. Both teams are cold weather teams, so that's not going to affect them. But here's the thing that I think is really fueling Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson comes out in the league as a rookie, and they want to change his position.
Want to be a running back.
They want him to be somebody other than who he is. I'm like, dude, why are you trying to make this dude somebody who's not? And this guy's telling you, I am a quarterback.
And then he won the Heisman Trophy in college.
Yes. And then they said, in Louisville. And then they said that, okay, well, he's not a true pocket quarterback. What else did this cat have to do to prove to you? And you know what he said in draft day? He said when they interviewed him and on draft day, when they interviewed him and he got picked up by the Baltimore Ravens, he said, I'm gonna bring the Baltimore Ravens a Super Bowl.
And listen,
that's what I've been saying. Those be those little key words that people try to use when they don't want you to be a quarterback or when they want you to do something other than what you're capable of.
What you're capable of doing.
But you're not a pocket passer per se. You know, you're more of a runner. You know, they use these little key words, these little key terms to see if you're going to say, you know what, put a little bit of doubt in your head.
But the question about the NFL is, who is a pocket passer now Even Mahomes can run. Mahomes can scramble. Jordan Love look good scrambling on the ball.
Everybody has become. It's not the Tom Brady.
It's not a statue.
Even the Ben Roethlisberger. It's not that type of quarterback. The quarterback.
Ron Jaworski days and all that. Boomer Science on.
They gotta be a mobile
because
quarterback.
These linebackers and these corners, they're so fast. They can get to the quarterback so fast. So they got to be able to be mobile and be able to get out.
And here's another thing. What I think that Kansas City, I think what Mahomes excels in more so than Lamar Jackson is that he's able to get the ball out quick. Very, very quick.
You ain't gonna get to him. We're too quick. So
you're not really sacking that. So you gotta really get in the face and get your hands up. That's what you want to be able to do. You want to make it very, very difficult. And the reason why you have to stop Pacheco, who I think is one of the best running backs, kind of reminds me of a cat I played against, James Brooks, back in the day. I know he played for San Diego, and then he ended up playing for Cincinnati Bengals.
That's right.
He weighed 185 pounds, only like 5'10", 5'11".
Small dude,
Was the hardest running dude on earth. And when I watch Pacheco run, I'm like, man, this dude reminds me of James Brooks. He's one of them punishing. You saw in that last game against the Buffalo Bills when they had to get a first down. He got the ball on that first down play. He got picked up 8 yards.
He runs
8 yards. He runs extremely hard.
And like I say, cats like that, I can appreciate a whole lot because he runs real hard. So with that being said, now we need to shift over to the NFC.
So if you're looking for my prediction is Baltimore Ravens by 3 points because they're playing in Baltimore. If it was in Kansas City, I would go for Kansas City. But it's going to be a close game, and here it is. It's going to come down to, I don't want it to come down to who has the ball last. Because if Kansas City has the ball last, man, I'm telling you, that dude ain't no joke.
Game over.
Dude ain't no joke.
Game over.
Patrick Mahomes ain't no joke.
Game over.
All right? But if Baltimore Ravens has the ball last, Lamar Jackson ain't doing it.
Baltimore got to put. They can't be kicking field goals.
And let me.
And they got the best field goal kicker out there.
Oh, I gotta say this too. Just like the Packers against, as we're gonna move into the NFC San Francisco, the Packers had 3 chances for interceptions to turn the game around.
We got to talk about that.
All right, okay. I'm telling you, if you get a chance for an interception against Patrick Mahomes, you better secure it. You better get it. You
took the word right out of my mouth. You took the word right out of my mouth.
So it's gonna be one of those games that, hey, you can't go, I get the next one.
No,
there ain't gonna be no next one. And ain't gonna be no next one.
Same thing I said. But so we're gonna piggyback on that in a minute. So we're gonna go to NFC.
Okay.
You got 6:30. You got San Fran playing Detroit. And before we started this year, I don't know if you remember, we got together the very first time. Not here, but in the studio. Darryl predicted Detroit was going to be the team. And he said
he predicted.
He did say Detroit.
Because they balled out last year. They balled out last year.
So, with that being said, give me your breakdown in the NFC Championship game because we don't know if Deebo Samuel is playing. I don't know if San Fran just keeping them 50-50 right now so they don't let them give the blueprint to know if he's going to play, so I don't know.
Yeah, because here it is. You have to disclose the injury list pretty soon. And so you want to be as coy as possible so you don't have an idea. But here's the difference. We already know that you got hurt. So here's what the lines are saying. Hey, man, Deebo got hurt. Oh, Deebo got hurt, dude. Deebo got hurt in that game, dude. He didn't play the rest of that game. So now you thinking this. I'm telling you what we've always said, like, hey, dude, hit this dude legally in the mouth, legally, and put him on the ground. Put him on the ground, because if you get that dude out, now you have to rely solely on Christian McCaffrey and Purdy. And what we found out with Purdy.
What did Cam say? What did Cam say?
Cam said the same thing, but the Packers, and the way that they didn't secure those interceptions, said the same thing.
Listen.
Because there were interceptions out there going, dude, there's 3 of them.
And let me ask you this. You played defensive back. 26.
And I played against the Kansas City, I played against the San Francisco 49ers in 3 playoff games.
And my thing is, 26, if you go back and look at the Cowboy game, he jumped the same route when Prescott threw the ball and he went pick 6. Purdy threw the ball, I'm saying to myself, you dropped it, and I'm thinking to myself, you can't, that was an interception. That was a pick 6 there.
That was a pick 6.
And he dropped it, and I'm saying to myself, like, and I looked at Shanahan, the next play, when they punted, and when San Fran got the ball back, I said to myself, let's see how much confidence he got in Purdy. He said, let me get 2 tights, 2 receivers for 1 set, and the McCaffrey.
Hand the ball to McCaffrey.
Because guess what they're telling me? That's what I'm scared over him. When the game get tight, can you depend on him?
See, and this is what I remember. They were doing first take of one of those things. I was watching the show, and Greedy was talking to whoever his cast is, and he says, hey, how can Purdy go from being the MVP favorite to a guy that we're questioning whether he can whether he can play or not in the playoffs. And because here's the thing is that nobody really cares about how good you are. They always talk about like, just prove it to me. And if you beat me on this play D, or if you beat me on this play, like, prove it to me again.
Exactly.
And you had cats where they were sitting there going, they made him human. They made him go like this. Hold it, he get rattled just like every other person gets rattled.
Yes.
Everybody does.
I think everybody saw that from the TV. The first, when he threw that first, that was the first pass. I'm saying to myself, And I thought about but Phil left game. I said, listen, he ain't, because if I'm not mistaken, this is just his second year of playing. Everybody know, and you know this old slogan, big ball player step up big ball game. Is he a big ball player? Because we know McCaffrey can do it, we know Debo, we know Kittle, but they got to get somebody to get the ball to him. And he can go out there really Sunday and have one of them games where Detroit can scheme up a defense and make him like, hey, we're going to take McCaffrey away, we're going to make him pass the ball, and if we don't, then what we going to do then?
Yeah, see, Debo always scares me because he's he's just that guy. McCaffrey is just that guy. They're just that guy. So you have to go ahead and account for them. The fact that Debo's been hurt, it's going to
change the dynamic of the game.
It just changes things. So now that when Christian McCaffrey comes in the game, if you're not doubling him, if he comes out in a slot formation, if you just put a linebacker on him, you want to lose.
But they do that.
But you want to go ahead and lose. You're not doing it this game.
Because how many times last week he was in the backfield and he went out, like you say, and he's lined up in the slot. Packers had linebackers. I said, what they gonna do? We gonna play with a linebacker?
Oh, you're gonna go ahead and have a nickel back or some safety. Here's the difference when I play safety, but I started as a corner. Most safeties start as corners. All right, and they play and they always cover. Linebackers don't. They might start as a big safety, but they're already big and they start as linebackers for the most part. And so you covering a guy like McCaffrey, who is really a bona fide Marshall Faulk out the backfield. Do you really want a linebacker on him? No. You want a cat that's like me, smaller, boom, and able to move what to do, and who's not afraid to go ahead and say, oh, he ain't gonna outrun me. I'm not afraid to go like this. This cat ain't gonna outrun me down the field. All right, well, even if he makes a move, I'll keep my distance and let him make his move in front of me, and I'll come up and make the tackle, as opposed to linebacker guessing. There's more of a security blanket having a defensive back than a linebacker. I'm going to make sure that I have some safety defensive back on top of him to make that play, because if he gets out the backfield on that Texas route, on that corner route he does, that little swing stuff he does, or if he's running the backfield, I want a defensive back on him. I don't want a linebacker.
And I'm going to tell you something.
Linebacker, you can go ahead and you can go ahead and cover. You can cover somebody else, but you're not covering. You ain't covering this cat.
Well, let me ask you this: did you see the same thing I seen with when
who's it? Kittle's is a
tight end.
Yeah, you can cover the tight. You can cover Kittle.
So did you notice about this? Is what I noticed with Green Bay did, and I noticed a lot of people doing with San Fran. Them guys are edge rushers. They're not really good run stoppers. I seen Green Bay run. Aaron Jones running down their throat like it wasn't nothing. So I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at Gibbs, I'm looking at Montgomery, and I'm saying to myself. Is Detroit gonna pound them, and they gonna play action?
They're gonna pound them.
I think Detroit's thing is I'm gonna go ahead and pound you. And if I can make you come up and play 8-man front, I can always go ahead and pull the ball and play action.
And 14 and Brown. Brown. And listen, I don't know where the little kid from, but he can ball. 14 can ball.
Yeah, he can ball. And so I would go ahead and I see that. And here's the other thing: the difference between Goff and the difference between Love is that Goff is not going to make the same mistake that Love made when he had a chance to go ahead down and maybe tie the game up or win the game, right? He rolls out to his right-hand side. Instead of going ahead and running for the first down, which he should have done, he tries to throw the ball all the way back across the field.
So they already teach you don't do that.
Dude, I'm like, dude, you know how hard that is?
I keep that. I would say that inexperience. He ain't played enough.
But that's not Goff. Goff ain't gonna make that mistake.
But see, Goff done been in a Super Bowl, so he know what to do.
Goff is gonna say, if I'm running out that way, if I can't throw the ball to that side, I'm definitely not throwing the ball to the back, all across the field, and off my back foot with somebody in my face. I'm gonna go ahead and take my chances to live another day. If he does that, that's totally different. So I think the maturity level, and here's another thing: Coach Campbell with the Detroit Lions. He don't care about how good you are.
No, I like his mentality. See, he got you. He got that player mentality. He got that dog in him.
He got dog.
When he was a tight end. Everybody in Campbell, but I love coaches. Me personally, I don't like a coach to sit on the sideline and just fold his arm. I like somebody animated into the game and stuff. I like them kind of coaches.
What's the defensive coordinator?
For who?
Like Detroit.
Oh, you talking about Aaron Glenn? But you know, Aaron Glenn was the defensive back for if I'm not mistaken, for the Jets or something.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn was for the
Jets.
Jets.
I think it was the Jets.
Jets.
He played with a couple teams, but I think it was the Jets. Yeah. But Aaron Glenn was a good player.
Aaron Glenn is like one of them. I'm
but the thing about him, he turned that defense. Last year, that defense was horrible. So he got them guys believing and talking and got them going.
Yep.
But they're playing in San Fran, right?
They playing in San Fran.
That's the only thing that's going to be a problem.
So do you think the game is going to be a tight game?
No, it's going to be a tight
It's
game.
going to be tight.
Detroit Lions, I said this and you said this in the beginning of the season. They are no joke, man.
No,
they don't want to play them cats.
Yeah, they don't have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
they play with house money.
Absolutely. Now think about this. I mean, the Green Bay Packers, who struggled all year long,
I ain't lying.
they go into San Fran and they almost win the game because off of interceptions that didn't happen.
And you know what's so funny? I had told somebody at work.
Think about that.
We were talking about this at work. 6-7 weeks ago, before the playoffs, Panthers played them here. Best game the Panthers played all year, 33-30. Bryce Young looked the best day. And I said to myself, Panthers ain't got no deep. They made Bryce Young look like a Super Bowl contender. I said, look how the Panthers moving the ball down the field. The best game they played all year offensively.
Yep.
Now you fast forward 6-7 weeks later, they played Dallas. And I swear, Stephen A. Smith said all the time, he said, just wait, it's going to happen, just wait. Dallas look good all regular season, get in the postseason, and they just going to show me with Dak Prescott. He's a great regular season quarterback, but when you get the postseason, like Cam said, game manager. He said Dak Prescott, he said Brock Purdy, Tua. So he said some guys.
And that's not a
It's not
If you manage the game well, that's what you want to be able to do, right? But then there's people who are exceptional.
And that's what he was saying.
Exceptional. Tom Brady is exceptional.
Yeah.
Drew Brees was
But everybody took it and ran with it like he
I'm
was
gonna tell
talking.
you the best game manager that won the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, when the Baltimore Ravens, what was his name?
Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Everybody
No doubt about that.
Oh, Trent Dilfer. I was gonna say Trent Dilfer wasn't working. What Ray Lewis tell him? You give us 13, they ain't gonna score. So guess what? You can do that.
And that's a really good point, a good segue, is because Detroit has a good defense.
Yep.
They'll get after you, dude.
Yeah.
They can get after the quarterback. They can go ahead and stop the run.
Yep.
They are really good.
But I think they can double Hutchinson.
And they don't care. They don't care that they're going to play the San Francisco 49ers, because I really believe coming off that last year to this year, they believe that they were one of the number one teams, and they played like, what was their record? 12 and 5
last
or
year.
something like
So the Panthers, I think the last lot they had was the Panthers beat them last year.
Yeah, so and don't forget, we played them in preseason,
yeah,
and then we played them in the
regular
regular
this
season.
year, and they blitzed us both times.
Dude,
so you think San Fran still will pull it out?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that I always give the home team a 3-point advantage, but I'm just telling you this. Okay, let me put it this way to you, all right?
If I'm not playing.
When I played with the Green Bay Packers, and we played down to NFC Championship game in Candlestick, or in the stadium, and
Candlestick.
We looked like we should lose. We ended up going to the Super Bowl, and it came down to a play. Antonio Freeman, there's a fumble. There's a fumble that happens. Antonio Freeman fumbles the ball. They get the ball. They're about to move. Brent Jones, the tight end, he's going to run an in route. Leroy Butler's blitzing from the left-hand side. I'm covering him. I pick it off. I bring it back down. We score a touchdown with Antonio Freeman. We take the lead. We win the game.
Was Steve Young the quarterback?
Steve Young was the quarterback.
Right.
And here's the thing. And Brick Joseph, you hooked me, Gene. Yeah, I did hook you. You're right.
You got away with it.
Yeah, I hooked you. Yeah, I did. And so, and I only say that to say is that Detroit Lions, you got to make the plays. You can't say, if there's an interception, you can't say I can get the next one, because it ain't going to be a next one. Look, we can talk about Purdy, but Purdy's good enough not to make the same mistake twice. I said, so you got to make sure that when those plays come, that you get the tip ball that happens, that punch fumble that happens on the ground. You got to get the loose ball.
Yeah, you got to get
it. Yeah. And if you get that, that's when you get a chance to go ahead and sow seeds of doubt with the San Francisco 49ers and make something happen.
Yep.
And because the 49ers ain't going to lay down.
No.
They're not going to lay down. And I'm telling you what, I'm a Christian McCaffrey fan.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to tell you right now, that dude right there
is a difference maker.
He's a beast. And I remember telling Christian McCaffrey when he was playing here, and I was doing broadcasting for the Panthers, and he was sitting on the sideline, and he was taking a break. And I came up to him and said, man, you don't get the credit that you deserve, dude. I said, dude, you like a baller. You're going to be going to every Pro Bowl. I said, you're that dude.
Yes.
And he said, man, Gene has been that way. He said, cats don't, they don't think I can do anything.
It's crazy.
Now here it is. He came out the same time that Leonard Fournette came out.
Yep, so it did.
Right?
Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. And everybody was talking about the Panthers should take Leonard Fournette.
Yep. And I'm gonna be honest.
Fournette's good.
I'm gonna be honest. I'll put my hand because
Fournette's good.
Out west, I knew his daddy was Ed McCaffrey. I knew he had the genes. But out there, I'm saying myself, Stanford.
You said
and I said Stanford.
They ain't gonna do.
They don't play big. They don't play that ball out there. Listen,
Christian McCaffrey is.
I'm gonna tell you how I knew.
C-Mac
on our route, we listen to 16. So I'm listening to the radio when y'all down in Spartanburg when they took him. Olsen was on the team then. Kuechly, Thomas Davis. They said the first day he said it made Luke Kuechly look so bad on the play. And I'm just saying myself, oh, they hyping him up. That's what I'm saying. The very next day I'm listening to the radio and deliver my route. They said Thomas Davis tried to go, and I said Thomas is a beast. So he made Thomas look crazy. I said, hold up. Then Greg Olsen got on TV later on that day and said, listen, his feet different. He's very different.
That dude's like Marshall Faulk. I played against Marshall Faulk. Dude, it's like you trying to catch air, dude. You're trying to catch air.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you what, Christian McCaffrey has a go button too. Not only does he put his foot in the ground, he can run between the tackles, he can run outside tackles, he can cut off his left inside foot going to he could cut from on his left foot, go to the left side.
He could be a receiver if he really wanted to.
Dude, if he wanted to,
that's just how
that dude can do whatever he wants and nobody can stop him. So here's the problem Detroit has. You got to stop that cat. Now the fact they don't have Debo there, that makes it a little bit easier. But you got to stop that cat. And that offensive line, they do a great job of blocking.
Yep.
And Christian McCaffrey, his job is to make that one guy miss.
Like he did against Green Bay. That was it.
And he can make that miss.
That was it.
He can make that dude miss right there. And that's why you got to be really sound. And that's why I can tell the Detroit Lions going to get into an 8-man front and say, okay, beat us.
Purdy. Yep.
Beat us, Purdy.
Now,
beat us.
This is something me and my partner, we get into it all the time. People at work, even my uncle, wanted me to ask you personally because your expertise. Stroud had a great year. We done with the NFC. We done with the AFC. Stroud had a great year. Everybody at work saying Panthers took the wrong quarterback. They said Bryce Young is not that good. We got a guy at work, Courtney. See what C.J. Stroud doing. You should have took Stroud. My uncle. He's sick. My uncle, this is my uncle's biggest thing. Stroud 6'3", Bryce Young 5'10". He said, you always take the taller quarterback. They got the same kind of accolade. I said, I get that. Y'all acting like Bryce Young is chopped liver to me. That's what they look like. But let me ask you this. Since you play the game, know the game, and you inside, did the Panthers take the wrong quarterback? I need to know that.
No. Let me tell you why they didn't. When you look at C.J. Stroud, you can't go ahead and say that just because he was... Okay, let me put Bryce Young on Houston Texans.
Thank you.
All right? I'm telling you, Bryce Young is small. How many knockdowns, batted balls do he have down?
Everybody kept saying that.
How many batted balls did Baker Mayfield have that first year when he
was getting he would get 3-4 a game.
Yeah.
All right? So he wasn't getting batted balls. That means he was seeing the window. He was seeing that throwing window and that throwing lane, okay? Now, he threw some interceptions, no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolute rookie mistakes, indeed. However, when I saw him throw the rock and when I saw him move, I said, this dude right here,
when he got time to throw
is really that good. He's the truth. Now, C.J. Stroud had an incredible year.
And I'm not taking it from him. I'm not taking from Stroud.
But he didn't have the same our offensive line struggled. Xxxi struggled.
Yes.
Our guards struggled. Corbett was there. He was hurt guy.
Yeah.
Christian was there.
He was hurt.
They
struggled the whole year. That's
so
right.
You're asking this young man to go ahead and be better?
And you don't have no number. You got rid of your number one receiver. I mean, Adam Thielen to me is a number 2 receiver at best. You got rid of DJ Moore, which we're not going to get into that. Yeah. But my thing is, I hear so many people out there always, Stroud. I'm not taking from Stroud. But I'm saying, you give Bryce Young the same opportunity. If you flip-flop them, my uncle said you flip-flop them, Panthers won 5-6 games with Stroud instead of 2. That was my uncle said.
And I would say that, and I would say because of Coach Ryan up in Houston, if he would have had Bryce there too, I'm saying they probably won the same amount of games.
But that's my biggest. So
it's it's not predicated on your heart, your height. Yeah, I know that it's finding the throwing lanes. There's been quarterbacks who can't find the throwing lanes that gets balls batted down.
Yes.
And so let me just be an expert and not a fan.
And I need you to be.
All right. Drew Brees is not a tall dude. Does he get batted down balls?
No.
Because he's finding the throwing line and the ball comes out quickly. Here's another thing about Bryce. The ball comes out very, very quickly. All right, there's an accuracy about him, and when he moves in the pocket, there's something about that young man that I'm not ready to go ahead and give up on him. Go, hey, nah, this dude is not the guy. Now the fact that C.J. Stroud had a great year,
it hurt.
It's like this. Well, man,
it's magnified.
Okay, all right, but they just said C.J. Stroud. Well, what about the other quarterbacks that was in the draft? In that draft,
Richardson,
and all those quarterbacks in there. What are you saying about what they did? What are you saying about their production?
What? You know,
Richardson hurt.
He got hurt.
Yeah.
Levis played. Levis came in and took Tannehill's job.
Yeah, but towards the end of the season.
Towards the end of the season. And it was the fifth one. One more came out.
I'm missing somebody.
It's somebody else. It was 5 quarterbacks that came out, and it's one more.
So, out of all those quarterbacks, somebody was bound to have a good breakout year. And so, I'm not ready to throw Bryce Young away because when I watch him as a quarterback, and I watch the ball, it comes out, I watch the spin, I'm going, dude, this dude gets the ball out. And, dude, there's been some times, let the truth be told, it's shame the devil. Dudes drop passes, man.
They wasn't getting open.
He threw a couple balls down the field when the dude, I said this to Coach Wright on the Monday Night Radio show that we do with the Panther Talk. I said, I don't know why. I think it was DJ Shark. It might have been Shark or
Mingo.
I was like, why did he stop running?
It must have been Mingo when he stopped. If you're talking about the play I'm thinking about, he stopped. If he would have kept going, the ball would have been right there.
That was on the RPO that you're talking about.
Yeah.
But there was another one down the field, and I'm like, I'm going, dude, why you stop running? And so there was time where if I'm a quarterback and I'm trying to keep positive, it's going to be very difficult for me to keep positive when you don't.
See, so that's what. Okay, so
but he was able to keep positive.
Yeah, I think a reason why a lot of people are so high on Stroud is because you got to think about it. You got a first-year coach,
and he balled out.
Yeah, and he guys first-year quarterbacks don't usually be balling out like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna give Stroud a lot of credit. I give a lot of credit to Miko Ryan.
Yeah,
because guess what? He played the game just like he played the game, but guess what he did? I ain't pouring no salt.
Who's the OC there?
Slow. But I'm not gonna pour no salt. But everybody know what I'm talking about when I say this. Say you want a defensive mind, you want an offensive minded coach. They got a defensive minded coach, right? What do he do? I'm gonna run the defense. I'm gonna give me an offense coordinator. You run out, cause that's what a coordinator job is. You got a defense coordinator, you got an offense coordinator. Some coaches are better at whatever. If you're a defensive minded person, you tend to go that way. He got an offense coordinator. Slow it, ran it, and get what Slow did. I'm gonna predicate and help Stroud out. Bryce Young came here and not being funny. No offensive line, no receivers besides
what about the running? The running game was almost.
Oh man, listen. It
was almost not.
You playing pistol
with Chuba Hubbard was balling.
And my thing is, and it's not to Miles, but like I try to tell people at work, when you played up in Houston, Philadelphia, you got one of the top 5 offensive line. When you had Kelce, you had Lane Johnson out there,
and what was the receivers? And everybody was balling out.
So you got all these stars up there. You got Smith on one side, you got AJ Brown on the other side, you got Hurst. When you run the RPO, it's gonna be lanes all over for Miles to run the ball.
And Miles can run.
And I'm not taking that from him, but you come in with a bad offensive line, and then you don't get Bryce up under center. You in his pistol, which the offensive line. So even when he got in the pistol a lot of times, and I'm saying to myself, I'm a fan. And sometimes we see stuff, and I'm not talking about Frank, but I'm just saying as a fan, I'm sitting back here watching myself like, okay, get up on the center, run the ball, pound the ball. Then you give him time to put it in there and pull it out. You got to establish a run. A lot of times, they were trying to pass the ball first down and couldn't even get the ball off.
Well, here's the thing that I thought that Coach Tabor did, and I thought he did a really good job of, is that trying to find the Panthers' identity.
Yep.
And I would always ask that question, what's the character, what's the identity of this team? And he got back to running the ball. The same thing that happened with Coach Wilkes did when Coach Wilkes took over for Matt Rule.
Yep.
He ran the ball. He started establishing the run, and when you ever establish the run, now you can do other stuff. And then you not only establish the run, but you keep the offense on the field and you wear down the defense.
Yes.
And so I thought that Coach Tabor was doing a marvelous job of just running the ball and get back to something that we know that we can go ahead and do, because obviously we were struggling trying to pass the ball, and there was too many sacks. He was getting hit too often. It was just too much going on. And then here's for all the fans. They gotta look at Bryce Young as being one of the most durable dudes I've seen.
Oh, but they say coming in, it was worried about him getting. Every time he got hit, he got up.
They said the same thing about Kevin Durant. They said the same thing about Stephen Curry. They said, oh, he's too small.
Yeah.
Oh, he's too small. This is my pet peeve. Okay, this is my pet peeve. For everybody who's always looking for that guy to be 6'3", 245, be able to jump through the gym, be able to run 4.2, all that stuff. That don't mean nothing. I'm gonna tell you, that don't mean nothing,
right.
dude. It always comes down to me against you.
That's right.
It comes down to, I don't care, you can even know the play. It comes down to execution. Me against you. And nobody can determine your want-to in your heart. Nobody can determine that.
That's what I'm saying.
You write the story.
Yes.
You write the narrative. So I never got into the thing going like this, wow, man, that's Jerry Rice. I know it's Jerry Rice. He's a beast. I just watched the film. I already know it. But I'm not going to sit there and be afraid of Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
You know, I can't be afraid of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got me, I got him. That's how it goes. But I'm not gonna be afraid, and I don't buy into. I don't buy into what you're supposed to look like. You throw all that out the window because it's about your skill level and your execution, and it's about the confidence you have when you're out there. I'm not afraid to make a tackle on a dude or hit a dude who's 300 pounds pulling. I'm not afraid to tackle. To make that hit to force the ball in. But guess what? Most people are.
Yeah.
I don't sit there and go like this, oh man, he's gonna run me over. I don't think that. I'm gonna hit him right here in his shoulder plexus, slide up to his chin, and knock him back. That's what I'm gonna do. Or I'm gonna at least try.
And you let the chips fall where they may after that.
Oh, I'm gonna at least try.
That's right.
I'm not afraid to go ahead or have him hit me and push me out so his body closes the hole. I don't think like fans think when they think about, oh, that guy's big. Oh, he's this. Oh, he has a strong arm. It don't matter. It all comes down to.
Derrick Henry run up on you.
Dude,
You going?
Here, all the big backs that we had, Christian Okoye.
Yeah. You played with Jerome Bettis. Oh yeah,
the Nightmare, Bettis, all them, Kevin Mack, all them dudes.
I played as Kevin Mack.
Yes, I'm 16 years old.
Yeah, Cleveland.
So I've been against all them dudes, right? They've won battles, I've won battles. I've knocked out tight ends, I've been knocked out. I've knocked out running back, I've been knocked out.
And see, what you're saying is kind of true because Steve Atwater and y'all wasn't. You take the pads off. Steve Atwater wasn't as big as people think, but his pads back then was bigger. Man. But he was put together. But he'll knock you out.
He'll knock you next week. But there was another dude on the team named Dennis Smith. Dennis Smith would knock you in the next week. Ken Easley knock you in the next week. We had cats back in the day that nobody cared about how big you are. Nobody cares about that. Only people who care about that is people in the fans.
That's right.
Nobody cares about that. That's why Pacheco from Kansas City, he doesn't care. He's running over linebackers and safeties.
He's making a name for himself. He's making a name and
because he doesn't care. Now, if you look at it on paper and he only weighs like 100, $185, $190, you go like this. Oh, he shouldn't be playing like that. Nobody cares about that, dude. So I get it when you fall in love and you get enamored with that person who looks the part and stuff, but nobody cares about who. I don't care that Bryce doesn't look the part. I care about whether he can throw the rock or not. And I'm telling you, he can throw the rock. That dude ain't no joke. He doesn't get the ball knocked down. Why doesn't he? He has a comfortable drop back when he's in the gun. He drops back and he sees the throw lanes. I'm going, oh, that's all right.
I love how his feet beat
and he gets the ball out quickly. I'm like, okay, this dude can be extremely special. And fans, give it latitude and time.
They won't.
Let football educate you. This is a process that you got to go through. That football educates you where you go.
You got to realize.
Oh, I can't do this. Love it. I can't throw that ball back there. I won't do that again.
Especially with the Panthers fan, you got to think about it. We've been bad for a minute, so they really want to win and coach.
Well, it ain't so much being bad. I think we got Cam them spoiled us. That team spoiled us because he was here, you was here. I was here when the team came.
Was a beast.
When I came here, when the team was originated, I was here.
He's a beast.
We followed the game. We was going to the games and we was following. When Cam came, the personality, he changed Charlotte. When we went 15-1, the reason to me, I still say, no matter how people talk about him, that was a monster. You name me, Ted Ginn was his best receiver. Jericho Cottrell, Philly Brown. He had no big name receivers. He lost Kelvin Benjamin that preseason to his toe knee. He took this he galvanized this team and put him on his back and carried him to a Super Bowl. We didn't win, but he brought Charlotte. So my thing is, people here we are waiting, just like the Hornets. The Hornets and the Panthers in the same boat. We waiting for this city ready to erupt and ready. We tired of losing, but don't nobody want to be a loser. If you got any kind of competitive bone in your body, you don't want to lose. But at the same time, it takes time. But what Houston did, Houston Texans did this year, showed me it don't take a whole 3, 4, 5 years. It takes, like I say, and that's a great segue because
owners.
Yes, you said it. But we got a great segue because guess what? Today is Thursday. We got Mr. Eugene here. The Panthers in the last 3, 4 days got a new general manager and got a new head coach. So I want to ask you. I know Dan Morgan as a player when he went to the Super Bowl here for nothing. How do you think the hire? I don't know if you know much about the new coach, but you know Dan. What do you think was going to happen with the new regime?
So Dan Morgan has been behind the scenes working in the scouting department for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
When he ended up finished playing, he said he got into scouting, and so he was out there with in Seattle.
Seattle, that's right.
All right. And so there's something, and it's the same thing I think with John Lynch. There's something about having a keen eye when you play. When you look up in the front and you see a Derek Brown and a Brian Burns, and you go, man, what do I need? I need that Luke Kuechly type linebacker, that Dan Morgan, that John Beeson linebacker. Is that what Frankie Louisville? Was that Shaq? I can find, but the fact that he knows what he needs. Okay, and then he's gonna look at, let me look at my secondary. Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn. If J.C. Horn can stay on the field, he's gonna do some hard evaluation, but he's gonna do it from a perspective of a ball player. What do you want to tell Dan Morgan? He don't know about a free technique? You want to tell him he don't know? We know when a dude's garbage, and we know when a dude ain't garbage.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying to you is that Dan Morgan knows he knows personnel.
Yeah.
He knows what the offensive linemen are supposed to do when they pull. How do they get out of their stance? He knows what that shit looks like.
And I read something today. Now I don't know. Maybe you can give me some insight. I read this before you even got here. He hired the coach Dave Canellis. I think it's not Canellis.
Yep.
Dave Canellis. Don't know. He was the offense coordinator in Tampa Bay, but they worked together almost 6, 7 years in Seattle. But they said
they were in Seattle together.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he knows this.
And that's why I knew when they got Dan Morgan today, he came back and interviewed real quick. I'm reading a lot of stuff online. They said, I don't know how true this is. Dan Morgan pretty much hired him. They said Temple got out the way. They said Dan Morgan pretty much, I guess, went and told Temple, look, you need to move out the way, let me do my job. And if that's true, if it is true, thank God, somebody gonna stand up to him and say, hey, you are owner. You pay us, you do what you gotta do, get out the way.
It's not so much of him even standing up to it. It's just the fact that, like you said, let him just do his job.
But why he's so but
that's part. Here it is. I don't fault Mr. Tepper for being hands-on because everybody would want to feel if you own a team and you would want to feel like to have some stake in it. Everybody would want to feel like you got a deal, right?
I get it.
That's why whether it's Al Davis, whether it's Jerry Jones, everybody wants to feel like they have a stake in it. When things, and this is what Coach Knox always used to say to us, he says, when you lose, there ain't nothing there for nobody. Nothing looks good. But if you win, totally different. So here it is. We've lost, right? So now you got to lay blame everywhere.
Yes.
Everybody's culpable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
From the ownership, everybody's culpable, so everybody's going to get that blame. But let's say we flipped it around. Let's say we just won and we went to a playoff. Then what would you say? You would go just, we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
That's a good hire, Mr.
Yeah.
You will say all that. So here it is. I'm just telling you, when you lose, there's nothing there for nobody, and everybody looks bad. I don't care if you got 15 interceptions. I don't care if you got 20 touchdowns. I don't care. What are you going to say? I got 20 touchdowns in a losing season? Nobody cares because you lost. And we understand that as ball players. So I agree with you that you got Dan Morgan, and Dan Morgan is making that hire because he has a relationship.
That's what I do.
So I'm like, that's great.
It is.
And here it is. If Mr. Tepper sounds like he gave him his blessing because he's going to be here, then absolutely great. But what Dan's going to bring is that eye that says, oh yeah, I know what's going on. I know what's going on. Dude. Nah, this cat playing out of position.
Ooh, it's a. Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
Think about this.
I know.
He's gonna put that.
Trust me.
Dude, I'm a defensive back. I know when a dude's getting blown off the ball.
So.
And you go, oh man, let's go to the ball. You have to change it up.
Xxxi, this is second year.
He
reversed.
I would move him to guard.
And I said with no hesitation, he's a guard.
I would move him to
He's
guard.
not a tackle. He's a guard.
I would move him to guard.
So my thing is this year, as a player, let me ask you this. Okay, if Dan Morgan them came into camp this year, Xxxi, you going to guard. Is that a conversation you got to have with him, or is it going to hurt his feelings? Like, no, you got to go.
Well, first of all, the conversation is going to be with the coaching staff, and Dan Morgan is going to look at all that stuff, and then he's going to look and see where do we need to put our personnel in the right spot, right? Now, I agree with you. I think Xxxi's one heck of a blocker.
Yes.
He'll block you to knock you the next week.
He's a role breaker. He
struggled off the edge of the 9 technique and the 5 technique. Everybody saw it. All right, he struggled in that. So what do? Either you bring the tight end to that side to help block on the side, or to chip off, or the running back to chip off, or you move him to a guard position and you find somebody else to go ahead and do that. So I think that's what Dan Morgan is going to be able to bring to the table. Dan Morgan is going to be able to bring his football IQ in his eye and look at it, go, well, let's see what we light at. Let's see what we look like on every position.
That's something I've never asked you, as long as I've been knowing you. If they asked you to be a coach on the team, would you ever coach?
I used to say, I remember Dennis Green asked me to coach for him.
Yeah.
And he said, hey, I would love for you to coach for me. And here it is. For you guys who don't know, I'm a high school football coach. I coached high school football for 21 years. All right. I did defense, but primarily I was offensive coordinator because I know so many things about offense because I'm a defensive player, and we had a lot of success. I said I would never go into the NFL because of the time, but now at this phase of life that I'm in now if someone would have called me and say, hey, would you go ahead and coach defensive backs? Dude, to bring my level of experience, because I've always done it, and to coach at the safety or the cornerback position, or even the special team stuff, because I've done special teams. Oh, dude.
So that
I know, yes.
Yeah, I never.
Hands down, I know that
and
stuff.
that's what I was saying, because every time I talk to you, I'm like, you know so much about the game. Like, why the Panthers, you been all these years, why they never ask you, say, hey, be the safety or cornerback coach?
Because that was never my goal. My goal was always to do what I've been doing, broadcasting, and I was satisfied being a high school coach. I'm good at being a high school coach. And then I would also, for my guys, I would teach them pro stuff. I would go like this, okay, this is what we do. This is pro stuff here. All right, boom. Now, when you get to college, if your coach tells you to don't do this, then you can't do this. You got to do what your coach says because you got to listen to their authority.
Yeah.
You're not under my authority anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm going to teach you what we do in the pros. And I'm going to tell you this. Look, if you get an interception and you don't get any yards, we've won. All right? But if you get an interception and you pitch the ball back and do all kinds of stuff because you're trying to show off and stuff, dude, we can't win that way.
Yeah.
I said, so we're going to know what our roles are, this and that, and then we're going to always play within a scheme. This game is always based on who's in what position, where you got to go, boom, and you play within the scheme. Just do your job before you help your buddy. Just do your job. The easiest thing I can tell you to do, because, and when the play comes to you, you got to make that play. Now, if that guy pushes you down, this and that, because he's better than you, that's different. But if you miss the play because you in the wrong position, this that, then I got to replace you. And I told my guys, dude, I got to replace you, dude, because you're in the wrong position. I said, if he just mushes you because he mushed you and he won, that's different. Because I can teach you how to go ahead and get stiff arm me. Boom, I can teach you how to grab that wrist, right?
Knock it down,
knock it down.
There you go.
I can teach you how to do that, and then go ahead and make that double A take. I can teach you that.
The last thing I want to ask you before you leave. Last thing I want to ask you. A lot of coaches been getting hired. Raheem Morris got hired today from Atlanta.
He did.
He got hired today. Gerard Mayo took over from New England.
I'm glad for Raheem Morris. I'm glad for him.
Bill Callahan went to Tennessee.
Yeah, he went to Tennessee.
He went to Tennessee, and then Antonio Pierce got the Raiders job. And if I'm not mistaken, now there's only 2 jobs open: Seattle and Washington.
And
I think Washington is waiting for Ben Johnson. I really believe that.
What about Slowett?
That would see. This is what it leads him. But my question for you is about pretty much all the teams are getting their coaching now. Do you think the game has passed Bill Belichick by, or do you think if you would have brought Bill Belichick into your organization, he wants full control and you got to get out of the way? Is that why some teams are scared to bring him in because he got to have full control? Because I'm noticing now he went to Atlanta for 2 interviews. He only interviewed for Atlanta, nobody else. So I'm thinking to myself, he going down there. But they said, I'm reading again. They said Arthur Blank, the owner, they said people inside. Arthur Blank wanted him, but they say everybody inside up under him like, he gonna want full control, and that's why they went with Raheem. Raheem Morris was a coach for them 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. He was there, so they know him. But I'm thinking, do you think the time has passed him by and Bill Belichick passed him by?
Bill Belichick is iconic. People always talked about whether it was Brady or Bill Belichick. I think it was both of them. I think it's absolutely both of them. When he was coaching in Cleveland, he's been a beast everywhere he's gone. And you're right. If you win that many Super Bowls, there's something that you're doing as well. You're doing right. Because he's iconic. And so I think he's going to want full control. So I think that if you're going to, same thing when Mike Holmgren left, when he left
Green Bay and went to Seattle.
And he went to Seattle, he was also coaching GM.
He had 2
And he told me that. He told us when he was leaving, when I was playing for Green Bay back then, he told us that. He said, I always wanted to be a GM and a head coach.
He got his opportunity.
And you got your opportunity to be that guy.
Because I was just reading that day on ESPN.
But Belichick's that guy, man. He's like, he just knows football. I mean, he has a tree of guys who underneath him who are now in the league, who have coached for him or had head coaching jobs. He's just that guy. But he's going to want full control. And I want to see why someone wouldn't give that to him. I don't think the game has passed him by. I think there's a lot of. It's like Coach Caldwell for us, right? He was with the Indianapolis coach, right? He's like in a consulting role. Dude, there is a level of knowledge and expertise that you have as a coach that's second to none. I mean, dude, whether we're talking Tony Dungy, all the guys who are in position who've played the sport, played the game, every broadcaster who's an ex-football player, you know how much football you know?
Yeah, y'all brain have to be.
You know so much stuff because it's like that's all you've been doing. I played 16 years. I got 16 years, 4 years in college, 4 years in high school.
24 years of football.
All I've done is nothing but football, and I've learned all these different defenses. And I learned all these different offenses, and I learned all this different vernacular. And I learned all this, and I learned. Then when I put my skill level to it, I learned to apply my skill level to capitalize, and I've done extremely well as a ball player on different teams and Super Bowls and all that other crap right now. But you know how much football you know?
Yeah.
There's a lot. You know how much football Bill Belichick knows?
Man, his brain he probably sleep football. Man, that's why he talk the way he do.
Coach Rivera is one of my favorite coaches. Coach Rivera, when I was with the Panthers and we were doing broadcasting, we would do a show together. We would break down plays, right? I would grab a play that we're gonna see about the team that's coming up that we're facing, and I will always pick something that's really interesting that has all these different like old school type of stuff. It's real stuff that's interesting, and I would say, okay, coach, here's a play. You're gonna see it blindly for the first time. Boom, let's go. This dude would pick apart, break down this play like it was nothing. Offense, defensive side of the ball, how do you stop it, everything, why did it work, why it should work, the whole night I'm going like this. I said, dude, you are offense, you are a savant.
And you know he's interviewing for the Philadelphia Eagles defense coordinator job.
Yeah, oh yeah. You talk about a dude who knows his game? And so when I was sitting there,
who's interviewing for
Coach Rivera. So when I would tell because he's been a defensive coach for a long time.
Yeah, I think I just saw somebody got that job.
Really?
Philly?
Yeah.
Well, I know they was trying to hire.
What's his name from the Dolphins? The Dolphins.
You talking about? Oh, you talking about Big Fangio? Big Fangio. But that's why.
No, he didn't go there.
Yeah, they let him out of his contract in Miami. They let him out of his contract. They say they was eyeing him, but Rivera, he interviewed for that job last week. Yeah, but they were looking for Big Fangio because they parted ways, so they go up there, and then they want to interview what's the coach for Arizona? Kingsbury. He's interviewing for Philadelphia offense coordinator and going to the Oakland and not there to go Antonio Pierce. So Vic Fangio took the job.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Rivera, like I said, he's a brilliant mind. And when you're Luke Kuechly will be an incredible coach because Luke Kuechly has something a lot like I do. It's the academics of football that you sit down and you break down film all day long, and you sit there and break it down, and you sit there and go, where can I possibly go ahead and win on this play? Where can I get an interception?
Rivera said that. Rivera said one night, that was not to piggyback, but Rivera said one night they was in the stadium. It's night before Christmas. He said he went through, I guess y'all have, linebacker room, safety room, whatever. He see the light on the linebacker. He said he went by. Luke Kuechly, he said, man, it's night before Christmas, go home. He's in there dissecting plays, get ready for the, and they say he's just a study rat, just studies.
So Luke Kuechly, when at the height of I think that 2015 season, I would go down there on Mondays after I have a radio show and break down film. I stayed there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, just breaking down film, looking through offense, defense, special teams of our opponent, right? Without fail, I'm in the special teams room. If I would go out to the defensive on the linebacker room, I would see Luke Kuechly in there by himself, later than I am, sitting there breaking down film by himself. And I said, dude, what are you doing here? No, he said, I'm just breaking down film, Gene, just getting this stuff up. He said, just getting it all right. I said, and that's why you are who you are, and that's why you're going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that's why you are one of the best linebackers, because the academics of football is something that gives you an edge. Not your athleticism, not that meanness, knowing where the ball should come out at. Knowing where the ball should be.
And the best game he ever played.
The Dallas Cowboys?
Yes, Lord. And Thanksgiving. Listen, when I say he knew every play they were running, he would. The one you were talking about.
He jumped that 7 route way back there and got to the interception.
When you were talking about the linebacker, that what made me think. He drove back. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He drove back and said, "Nah, I'm gonna pick this one off." Then he did it again. I'm like, no.
He wasn't supposed to be there on the 7 route, and he drove on the 7 route.
It just gave me chills thinking about that team. How they had all of that. They were 15-1. They demolished the Cowboys that game. And I'm saying to myself in my mind, you got an old Peyton Manning. I said, they're going to blast him in the Super Bowl. I said, we're going to finally get this ring. I'm going uptown to cut up. I'm going to knock some stuff down.
Luke Kuechly ain't no joke. Luke Kuechly, first ballot Hall of Famer. Just as Julius Peppers is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of them cats, man. And Luke Kuechly is one of those cats.
Yeah.
And the fact that Luke Kuechly he studies the game, you've already elevated your play. Some guys don't have the willpower to do. When the work is done and they study a little bit film with the rest of the team, that's it for them. My mentor, Dave Brown, who had 62 interceptions before he passed away, I would go to his house on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Old VHS tapes. 6-hour tapes, the VHS tapes. We put in a tape. And I had to go ahead and jot down all the plays, what we did. First, second, third down. I had to collect all that stuff, not the stuff that they do now. I had to do all that stuff, and when we finished, he was like, okay, now we weren't there 6 hours, we were there about 2.5, 3 hours, right? Watching, maybe got 2 games in. Then the next day we do it again. You go, all right, Rook, tell me what we got. 3rd down and 7 plus. What had to throw the ball? Who gets the ball? All right, Rook, what we got? 3rd and 4 to 6. Who gets the ball? All right, Rook, 3rd down and 3. What plays are they running? And he think of, all right, 2nd and plus. We got any screens? How many screens do we got? What type of screens do we get? So he would make me go through all this stuff. So when I was on the sideline, my rookie year, 1985, I would be sitting there calling out plays, and the dudes looked at me like this. Yo, how do you know what play? I'm like, because I'm with Dave Brown. All we do is watch film.
Break down.
I said, all we do is break down film. All we do is break down film. This dude got 62 interceptions, man. He passed away. He had 62 interceptions. I got 57, but I got a total of 62 if you count playoffs. Because of this cat and breaking down film. So, lastly, the whole thing I'm saying is all about the academics. You gotta be able to have the athletic skill. If you're a big 6'3", 240 guy, that's great. If you're not, okay, I don't really care. But if you know the academics of football and your heart is that big, and then you got the skill level to make those tackles or to make people miss and all that stuff, dude, or you can play this game, and you can play this game for a long time. You can play this game for a long, long time, and you can bust people up. And if your confidence is starting to soar through the roof, man, please, dude. I ain't scared of nobody. I ain't scared of no ghosts.
Man.
Well, like I say, we want to thank you, man, for coming through the My Speaker podcast. Check it out. We're gonna upload it.
Man, we went for a long time. Didn't we?
Hey, listen. We can do that with you. Hey, but like I say, hit that like, subscribe, comment button. Like I said, thank you again to Mr. And he ain't gonna. This ain't his last time. Even when preseason come up, training camp, we gonna get him in whenever we got time.
We gotta do a Super Bowl edition then.
Yes.
Well, I just said we gotta do a Super Bowl.
So that's fine.
Right.
Like I said, and listen, we just. I know you. And my thing is, I want y'all to understand. This man worked for the news station. He worked for the Panthers. So we try to get him on. And like I say, me and him can talk for hours and hours because he's a genuinely. When I say he's a super human being, super nice guy. First time I met him, he was walking the dog. We laughing. I saw him. My eyes got big because in it, my wife will tell you. When anytime I see an athlete, that's Eugene. I'm like, yo, talking to him. He didn't do like most people. Man, get away from me. He talked to me like we were just homeboys, and he's been a genuine cat. So like I say, I want to say thank you.
Regular D, we were just regular.
And like I said, we want to just say thank you, man, because
I appreciate
now you're a part of My Speaker podcast anyway. So like I say, we're gonna get with y'all. Check y'all out again.
Check out the Super Bowl edition. It's coming up.
Yes, sir.
You can say Mike D.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Y'all be good, man. Peace out.
Man. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You already cut it off, D?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You gonna